Hello beer tubers and welcome to yet another re-review with me, Peter, the Master of Hoppets. I don't want to call this a Throwback Thursday, mainly because there's going to be quite a few of these. So let's call it a re-review because I have a little series coming or some things coming now the next few months that we're going to be trying again. So we're going to be diving back into some Trappist ales. It's been a very long time since I drank any of the Trappist and I thought they were about due for a revisit. So we're starting off the show with arguably one of the most originally sought-after Trappist producers and originally one of the most sought-after breweries in the world, Westvleteren. And this is their Blond. So we're starting with the lowest strength and then we're going to go up. So the plan for these videos, there's going to be a few re-reviews like this with single bottles. And then we're also going to be doing some cheese pairings because I actually got a hold of some of the Trappist cheeses as well. So we're going to be pairing, trying the beers, like their core kind of beers, and then the cheese, which is going to be really fun. There's going to be a couple of vintage tastings, an Orval vintage tasting. There's going to be a vintage tasting of Achel before they lost their Trappist mark or whatever. Well, they lost their mark. They were still Trappist, and then they got bought by a big company, and all the monks left. They were bought up by a bigger company, and now they're not Trappist anymore. So some of the last stuff from them that's still Trappist. And I never reviewed Achel on the channel, so it's like the last Trappist Achel. So like some Trappist cheese, it's going to be really fun. There's also some non-Trappist beer that we're going to be revisiting because I wanted to, ever since a Christmas video where I did the blind tasting of all the Belgian Christmas beers, I was like, oh, I also really want to revisit some of the hottest beers. So we're going to be going through their beers as well, which is going to be really fun. And pair that with cheese as well because they also make cheese. So we got, I think it's Westmalle cheese, Chimay cheese, Orval cheese, St. Bernardus cheese. I think that's it. I think that's the cheeses, the ones that make cheeses. So it's going to be fun to try and come sit and pair with cheese. Like I did that at Orval, which was magical. And the Orval tasting is going to be like a vintage thing. I'm really looking forward to these. It's going to be a fun trip down to see if these beers, down memory lane, but also see like why these beers are like staples. So we're going to start off with the crazy Westvleteren beers, not the hypest of the hype of the old day of beer, the old money days, which was the 12. The 12 was like a beer you could trade with back in the day. Now you can't. And now they even have stickers on in Europe. They used to just be these bottles, and the only thing was the iconic caps. Did I seriously just do that? Okay, this is the first. I'm going to have to fish a cap out of a glass. This has never happened. What a blooper. Wow. Okay, that was tasty. What a stupid blooper. But the iconic Westvleteren caps, that was the only thing that was on the bottles back in the day. God damn it. Now we need to get something in here to clean. But that was everything on the bottles. It's just that cap, which signified age and like everything. So, but I think it's okay that they started using labels at it's called Westvleteren, but it's brewed at Abbey de Sint-Sixtus or Abbey Sint-Sixtus. So yeah, I think it's okay that they have that. They even have a QR code. Like how modern. It's really interesting with these Trappist beers. I mean, it's quite ancient, really. Not that ancient. Some of them are kind of new, but yeah, it's a big part of beer history, And a lot of people who were old money had their shtick with these kind of beers. And I know a lot of young people don't even know what these things are. They probably go straight into hypey, approachable beers. So without making this video already too long, let's dive into the Blond. It's a Belgian Blond. It's 5.8%. It's kind of like the table beer that the monks have themselves. That's the deal with a lot of these monasteries is that they produce a table beer that the monks, they drink themselves. So it'll be fun to try this with a palate as a brewer and also just being more into more classical things these days. So let's check out the Westvleteren Blond. They say themselves on the website to be careful not to pour the yeast in. And when I was pouring per head, I really tried to keep a good amount of sediment, but I did get a little bit in, but it's not too bad. You don't want too much because the yeast will accentuate the bitterness. But it's a very pale golden yellow colored beer, high carbonation. It's bottle re-fermented, and it's got a white head. Very fluffy white head when I poured it. Let's check out the aroma on Westvleteren in the proper glass. I got a lot of the Trappist glasses actually that I never use. But yeah, let's check out Westvleteren in the Blond in the proper glass. So yeah, this is really, really old money, man. So I never loved these chalices because they're not that great for aromatics. Like it's decent here because the beers, especially a lot of these Trappists, are so highly carbonated. So it's easier to get some stuff going on. But yeah, it's very classic, very stewed fruitiness in the character. I'm getting a lot of stewed pear. It's very different than like English ale yeasts, whereas and it's also because this is spicy. It's got a lot of phenolics. The English, because I've been all into this English stuff lately. It's also stewed fruitiness, but it's like jammy. This is not jammy in the same way. I'm getting some citrus. I'm getting some hoppiness, some grassy, kind of peppery, noble hop type vibes. And then it's like this stewed pear or apple. It has a crispness to it. Phenolic spice. To me, I think we talked a lot about cloves and all kinds of things back in the day. To me, this is like grassy and black pepper, almost like Pilsner. But you can smell it's some yeasty characteristics too, and not just hops. It smells really nice. Doughy and bready too. I like the aroma on this. Let's try the Westvleteren Blond. Cheers. Oh, and before I even drink this, there were so many things to say. Thanks a ton to Beerdom for the beer. I got this on Beerdom. Beerdom actually had the entire set of Westvleteren now. They have them once in a while, like, boop, oh, they got fresh Westvleteren. Like, that's crazy. But they've actually also had some of the others. Maybe not Chimay and stuff like that, but they've definitely had St. Bernardus, I think. Cheers, and thanks to Beerdom for the beer. Oh, they're so effervescent. Like, it's like champagne-style effervescent on these kind of beers. That's also one of the things I kind of forgot a little bit about with Belgian beers. They are so alive. They're so lively and spritzy. Really fills up your mouth. All that CO2. But it's a dry beer. It's very dry. It has a little bit of a perfumey, fruity aftertaste, which could be yeast characteristics. Lots of apple. Green apple, pear. Lots of spice to it as well. Good bitterness, but it's not like super bitter. It's not as bitter as like some Belgian pale ales, if we think like Tas Boulba and these kind of beers. It also has a sweeter profile. More sweet fruit, yellow fruit profile as well. Like yellow pears, quince, stuff like that. Maybe even melon characteristics. Honeydew melon or something. I feel like I'm so much better at tasting a beer like this these days as well. Like when I was just getting into beer, maybe I wasn't the best at tasting all these kind of classic beers and beers where the nuances were a bit more subdued. Also working in beer now and doing so much with beer over the years, I feel like I'm much better at tasting these beers these days. And I feel like maybe I like them more. I'm so much more into old money beer these days. Like I'm really, really getting back into old money. Really tasty glass of blonde ale. Sitting in the sun in Belgium, this would be amazing. If you go to the monastery, I don't think they have a cafe. I'm not actually sure. It's very different. Some monasteries have a cafe it's not attached to the monastery. I don't think they're allowed to do that. But off like the premises, there's a cafe. Or Val, for example, has it. I think maybe these guys have as well. I'm not entirely sure. Where you can enjoy the beer and buy the beer. Oh, here you have, how is it? It used to be with Westvleteren, it used to be you had to call in advance to be able to buy the beer. And they would come out and they would give you a crate and that was all you could buy or something like that. Before they had any kind of distribution, it was so limited and so hard to get. So like people in Denmark, for example, when they tried it, it was because they had a friend who went on vacation in Belgium. They would go to the monastery and get a case to bring home. And it was these homemade wooden cases. I actually had one at one point. And you would you bring that home, you sell it on to your friends or whatever, or you keep it yourself because especially the 12 is really good for aging. But I think originally this was not something you were allowed to buy at the brewery to take home. I think it was only is it 8? Yeah, 8 and 12, I think. Is it a double and a quad or is it a double and a strong dark ale? It's something like that. Well, this is wonderful. Perfumey, as I said. Also a bit citric, lemony, floral bitterness. It's a lot of flavors going on. There's a lot of like almost like Pilsner-esque notes to it, but then a lot of classic Belgian yeast characteristic and a lot of fruitiness, like more slightly overripe fruitiness, but it's all balanced and cut by hops and dryness and balanced bitterness. This is another case study in how to balance a beer. Yeah, I'd love to try this again. Yeah, I'd love to sit in Belgium and drink this. This is definitely something I'd pick up again. It's not hard to get anymore, so you can just get this really online, I think, fairly easily. So 5.8%. Yeah, delicious blonde from Westvleteren, from Abbey Sint-Sixtus. I'm thinking a straight 90. There's like nothing I could put my finger on here. It's just really nice. So yeah, if you guys had the Westvleteren Blond, let me know what I thought of it. Really nice stuff. Fun to revisit this one. Stay tuned for more Trappist ales. It's going to be fun to dive through these. Actually, we've got to give a massive shout out to Klaus, who watches the channel, because he was the one who suggested I should go through some Trappist again and just revisit some classic Belgian. So shout out to you, man. And yeah, it will be fun. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers and Westvleteren Blond. See you guys in another beer review. And thanks to Beer Dome for the beer, of course. God damn it. Link for the shop is down below.